Today, I want to share with you an object lesson about how God's grace protects us when we are tempted to sin. I've got my two balloon buddies here. I've got Marvin here. Marvin, he is not filled up with God's grace. I've got Alex here. As you can see, Alex has water within him. The water represents God's grace. Now, we're going to set Alex aside and focus just on Marvin here for right now. So here's Marvin, and Marvin's going along, and he's tempted to sin. The flame here represents temptation. So Marvin comes, and he's, oh, holy moly, what just happened? Well, the Bible tells us that the wages of sin is death. When we give in to sin and we don't have God's grace, boom! We're all done. But let's see what happens here with Alex. Here's Alex. Alex comes along. He too is tempted to sin, but Alex, as you can see, is filled with God's grace. He gets closer and closer. The temptation does not pop Alex. Notice, it leaves a mark, but God's grace protects him. Romans chapter 5 verse 20 tells us that where there is sin, it has no chance against the aggressive forgiveness that we call God's grace. And how do we receive God's grace? We receive by believing in Jesus Christ. Paul tells us in Ephesians chapter 2 that we receive grace through faith. So here's Alex. He believes in Jesus. He's filled with God's grace. And even though he was tempted to sin and it left a mark, it didn't destroy him. God's grace is greater than all our sins. Are you filled with God's grace? All you need to do is believe in Jesus, and he will protect you when you're tempted to sin.